Hey, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of His Son, Yahweh Shai, who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. This your boy Padah, Taz of War. And as you can see, man, you see the title. It says, "Cause could this be the start of World War III? Could this be the start of it? You know what I'm saying? Could this be the start of the Third World War? Because I don't know if y'all done seen the news or been watching. Like Christ told us to watch. He told us to be watchful of the signs at hand. We should be watchful of the signs at hand. But Iran, they just sent a barrage of missiles aimed at Israel. You know what I'm saying? They're over there fighting right now, back and forth, and they're sending missiles towards Israel because of what happened to Hezbollah's leader that got killed. You see what I'm saying? So all these different chain of events are happening and stuff like that to heighten the war. You know what I'm saying? And also, that the prophecies of the Most High God will be fulfilled. So, we're gonna definitely go into that today. So what I'm gonna do before I get started, let me make sure I charge my computer because I'm gonna make sure this computer charger don't go dead. So hold up. Shalom, shalom. Okay, cool, cool. Got the computer charged up. As you see, I need the computer charged up because I don't want to sit up here and be doing this recording and then my damn computer go dead. You feel me? You can't be out here like that. You feel me? So check it out. I'm about to share my screen. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna before I even go into this video, I wanna read a couple scriptures real quick before we even get started. So when you check this video out, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and also just share the video, man. Share the video, man. We got to get this out. We got to get out what's taking place. We got to get out so the people can see, because like ultimately when we're really dealing with it, our salvation is what we desire and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be our salvation is gonna come with the taking down of the wicked. You feel me? The other nations that's in power right now. So let's share my screen real quick. Okay, let's get it. Let's go to, we're gonna start at Matthew. Okay, so we're gonna start at Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. It says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." So it's saying that we're going to hear of wars, rumors of wars, and we're going to see that ye be not troubled, because all of these things have to come to pass. You know what I'm saying? Where wars are taking place, rumors of wars and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It has to come to pass. But it says the end is not yet. For verse 24 says, "For nation shall rise against nation." You see that? And kingdom against kingdom. So these nations will be rising against nations, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places. So he's letting you know, like, all these different things are going to be happening in different places right now. You know what I'm saying? Even with them trying to closing it strikes over there on the East Coast right now. There's strikes that's happening over there on the East Coast, dealing with the ports and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? What that's going to create? That's going to create a famine. You see what I'm saying? These things are happening, simultaneously. You see what I'm saying? And then it says, "Nation shall rise against nation." We see these nations going to war as we speak. You feel me? But he said what in verse 8? All these are the beginning of sorrows. So all of these things are just the beginning of sorrows. You see what I'm saying? So that's something that we need to keep in mind, that we're definitely getting closer to that time. You see what I'm saying? But what verse 13 says, "But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved." The person that endures to the end is going to be the person that's going to be saved out of this captivity, out of this place of destruction. So What I'm about to do is we about to watch this video. Um, we're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch this video, and we're gonna just go into some of the stuff that's taking place, and we're just gonna listen to it. Let's check it out. Um, let's start here.
Good evening and welcome. It was Iran who struck tonight in the ever-spiraling cycle of violence in the Middle East. The U.S. says around 200
Fair use.
Iranian ballistic missiles launched from Iran rained down across Israel this evening, sending people running for cover. Just moments after air raid sirens sounded, the sky filled with streaks of light. Incoming missiles, many appearing to explode in the air, intercepted by Israeli and American defenses. Iran launching waves of missiles toward Israel in retaliation for its recent killing of a leader of Hezbollah.
So they're retaliating for the killing of Hezbollah's leader. That's why they're retaliating. Like I just said, like I said earlier, like these different chain of events are happening, and they're furthering the war. They're furthering the fight between these two between these two people groups. I mean, between not people groups, between these two nations. They're that's furthering it. You see what I'm saying? So we got to keep that in mind. Let's continue.
Remarkably, Israel says there were no deaths and few injuries as a result of the missile strikes this evening. The attacks not a surprise after U.S. intelligence several hours earlier warned a missile attack by Iran was imminent. This evening, Israeli leader Benjamin Netanyahu making clear there will be a response.
So this devil said there's going to be a response. And see, this is the thing. Check it out. This is the thing about Netanyahu. He's letting you know, like, there's going to be a response and they're going to pay. What you got to keep in mind is the simple fact that that's only going to build this war. That's only going to build this war because this person responds to this person does this person responds to that, and before you know it, it's just going to continue to be an all-out war. And then before you know it, these people are jumping in it, these people are jumping in it, these people are jumping in it, and before you know it, everybody in the world is battling against each other, and that's what we're hoping and praying that continues to happen. That's what we're desiring. You know what I'm saying? With us being the Israelites, we're desiring the war to take place because it's going to bring forth, that sixth trumpet. And as that sixth trumpet come, we'll get our deliverance. You feel me? So I'm gonna continue.
Our team witnessed it all from the ground. Raf Sanchez leads us off with the latest now from northern Israel.
It began just after 7:30 local time. I can tell you at this moment, the skies above us are lighting up.
Look at the missiles right there. Look at that.
Like deadly shooting stars, Iranian ballistic missiles slamming down one after another near an Israeli airbase. Also seen over Jerusalem's western wall and across the country. Israel says its air defenses taking out most of the incoming missiles. We are seeing some of these missiles, they are either falling apart, a sign that they have been intercepted, or they are making their way down towards the ground here in northern Israel. The IDF says around 180 Iranian missiles fired in total, in 2 waves, minutes apart. We are once again seeing the skies lighting up now, traveling the nearly 1,000 miles from Iran to Israel in just 11 minutes.
Hey, I want to say something too, because hold up, let me go to, because you remember he was just talking about the missiles. He said these missiles was falling down like shooting stars. So hold up, let's go to what these ballistic missiles was falling down like shooting stars. Let's go to Revelation 6. Let's go to Revelation 6 and Revelation 6:12, and we're gonna read down to 13. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. So it's basically dealing with, when you deal with this earthquake that's taking place, is dealing with like the missiles hitting the plate, shaking the damn world like the hit stick. You feel me? It's dealing with these missiles hitting Earth. And then it says, verse 13, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth. You see that? The stars of heaven because when John was seeing these different things that the Most High was showing him, he didn't know what a nuclear missile was, but he, from what he could see, it was like it looked like a star. You see what I'm saying? These are different things that's going to be happening, that's going to bring forth the destruction of Babylon the Great. You see what I'm saying? The stars fell from heaven, even as a fig tree casted her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And it says, and the heaven departed as a stroll, which is rolled together. And every mountain and island were moved out of their places. It is, heaven departed as a scroll. That's dealing with the mushroom cloud and just showing you how this place is just going to be shooken from the nuclear missiles that's going to hit Babylon. But this is just showing you like how, just how he said it looked like stars up in the sky. This is what John was seeing, stars in the sky, but they were missiles that were falling upon Babylon the Great. So let me continue to the video.
Like millions of others, we took cover when we heard the warning sirens.
That's the sirens. We're going to head to safety.
President Biden had ordered the U.S. military to assist in defending Israel. Tonight, the Pentagon saying...
So understand, they have already been given weapons to Israel. You see what I'm saying? Just like they've been giving weapons to Ukraine to fight against Russia. And not too long ago, I was just looking at an article where Putin was saying, like, we're going to have to reconsider the way we deal with this Ukraine war, because America can, if they give them these weapons, I forgot what weapons they was talking about. Let me go see if I can look it up. But basically what Putin was saying, if America gives Ukraine these weapons to shoot at us, we're going to consider them as an active force in this war and as a threat that we might have to, take issue on them and really get at them. You see what I'm saying? I just seen that in an article that Putin was speaking on, that basically letting them know, like, hey, y'all continue to do this, we gonna have to attack y'all. You feel me? So we see America sitting up there actually actively getting involved with this stuff that's happening over there in Israel to defend Israel. But you got to remember that Iran is linked with Russia. You see what I'm saying? It was said that Iran was giving missiles over to Russia. They're linked with Russia. So it's all a matter of time before, Lord willing, which we're hoping, I mean, we know it's going to happen, but, for the most part, we're hoping and we're praying. It's all a matter of time before Russia really gets involved in the war with America, even more involved. You know what I'm saying? We know that Russia, by the spirit and by the prophecies, that they're going to play a major role in destroying Babylon. You know what I'm saying? So we're hoping and praying that these things happen a lot quicker, so we can get out of here.
U.S. Navy destroyers fired a dozen interceptors at the incoming missiles.
Obviously, this is a significant escalation by Iran, a significant event.
The U.S. condemning the Iranian action, saying dozens more ballistic missiles were fired than in Iran's previous attack on Israel back in April.
This is totally unacceptable, and the entire world should condemn it.
The IDF tonight saying there are no known fatalities or major injuries in Israel. Iran says the attack was a response to Israel's assassination last week of Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah, following nearly a year of Hezbollah rocket attacks on northern Israel. All of it with nerves already frayed here by an earlier mass shooting in Tel Aviv. At least 6 civilians killed when 2 terrorists opened fire on the light rail, police say. While in a late-night speech addressing the missile attack, Prime Minister Netanyahu saying Iran made a big mistake tonight, and it will pay for it.
Rav, what have you learned about damage caused by those Iranian missiles?
Well, Lester, Israel says there were a small number of impacts in the south and the center of the country.
And just to clear up what I said about Russia, what was I saying? Just to clear up the simple fact, when I was sitting up there saying about Russia diving into this war, I can't emphatically say that they're gonna emphatically jump into this war with Iran and Israel. But what I can say is that we definitely hoping and praying that it happens. You know what I'm saying? We don't know how this is gonna happen at the end of the day. So I misspoke. I didn't want to say that. I didn't mean to say that, but like I basically was just saying that that's something that we hoping and praying takes place. So I just had to clear that up.
We know one missile came down near near a school, and several more were aimed at an airbase that was damaged in the last Iranian attack back in April. Lester?
All right, Rav Sanchez, thanks. And Chief Foreign Correspondent Richard Engel is in southern Lebanon, right across the border from Israel. Richard, you've covered this conflict for a very long time. Does it feel certain that Israel will retaliate here?
Oh, Israel will absolutely retaliate, and Prime Minister Netanyahu is already giving some hint at what Israel intends to do. Tonight, he listed off the names of several militant leaders who have attacked Israel in the past, nearly all of them subsequently assassinated by Israel. So Israel could
look at how the missiles is just going, man. Crazy.
Iranian officials believed to be associated with this missile barrage. There could be attacks on nuclear sites, military facilities. How far Israel goes will determine the course of this war in the Middle East. Lester?
And we hope they go far, man. We hope they go far, man. Because the further that they go, the more likely is a possibility that other nations start getting involved with this issue going over there in the Middle East. You feel me? And that's what we're hoping. We're hoping and praying that this continues to escalate. That's why we have to keep praying. We have to keep fasting, that the Most High, just like the scriptures say, that the Most Highs make those days short. You know what I'm saying? We need to be praying that these things happen, continually happen. You know what I'm saying? Each and every day we need to be praying and fasting that this day come, that we may be able to get out of this captivity and get free from our land of bondage.
Angle, thanks. As you heard, the U.S. actively participated in defending against the Iranian strike as the president and vice president kept a close watch on the situation. Here's Peter Alexander.
President Biden tonight declaring Iran's major assault on Israel a failure.
The attack appears to have been defeated and ineffective.
The president crediting the U.S.'s extensive.
Of course, they gonna say it's a failure. They like, this is the thing. Of course, they're gonna say it's a failure. You feel me? But when you look at other sources, Iran was saying that they connected on 90% of their mission. You know what I'm saying? Of what they shot these missiles out for. They connected on 90% of their mission. So, of course, Biden, this nation, this type of newscast is going to say that. Of course, he's going to say that to them. Of course, he's going to say that to the public. It's the propaganda that gets the people. You know what I'm saying? You got to propagate something to keep the people silent and keep the people from really looking further into the situation. You got to say something to keep the people minds going. You feel me?
Planning, anticipating today's attack, and working alongside its close ally, Israel.
Make no mistake, the United States is fully supportive of Israel.
Earlier, President Biden with Vice President Harris monitoring the attack alongside their national security team from the Situation Room. The White House says Iran did not give any advance notice of today's missile barrage. That comes as the Biden administration's months-long effort to prevent a larger war in the Middle East is now facing its toughest test yet. The president tonight saying it remains to be seen what the consequences for Iran will be. The vice president also condemning the Iranian attack.
Iran is a destabilizing, dangerous force in the Middle East, and today's attack on Israel only further demonstrates that fact.
Still, former President Trump, campaigning in Wisconsin, argues on the administration's watch, the world is spiraling out of control.
They are very close to global catastrophe. We have a non-existent president.
Hey, Trump get it. Hey, he said it correctly. They are very close to global catastrophe, and he can see it. A lot of people are saying that we're getting closer to that time where everybody's going to war. This whole place. You feel me? He can see what's going on. He sees the BS. He sees through the BS. We're getting closer to World War III. He can see that. You should be able to see it.
Non-existent vice president who should be in charge, but nobody knows what's going on.
All of it a dire backdrop to tonight's one and only showdown between the two vice presidential picks, who have been fierce critics from afar for months. This is not about power, it's about governing. Well, Kamala, day one was 1,400 days ago. What the hell have you been doing? Tonight, they'll meet in person for the first time.
And Peter, you're there in the spin room, and we're going to...
Okay, so we're going to be done with watching that video. So as you can see, Iran is sending these missiles over there to Israel right now, and America is getting involved. So it's getting real out here, man. It's getting real out here. So what I want to go into Jeremiah 30 because this is what we should be thinking about and we should be considering as a people. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians being the Israelites, God's chosen people. We should be considering this as a people. So I'm gonna go into the book of Jeremiah chapter 30 because we're definitely getting closer towards a third world's war and we're getting closer towards our salvation. So I'm gonna break down this whole book. So this is Jeremiah chapter 30 verses 1. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, thus speaketh Yahweh, our power of Israel, saying, write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. So I want you to document this. I want this to be documented. You see what I'm saying? Allow these words to be documented. These words that I've spoken unto thee, I want them documented. You see what I'm saying? So that they may be read. Because you got to remember, let me go to Romans. Let's go to Romans 15 and 4. Let's look at different translations. So let's read the NLT. It says, so this is Romans 15 and 4 in the NLT. It says, such things were written in the scriptures long ago to teach us. And the scriptures give us hope and encouragement as we wait patiently for God's promises to be fulfilled. So these things were written for the sake of us being taught and for the sake of us being able to hold firm to these promises and knowing that they're going to happen. So as we read Jeremiah and he's documented, these things are being documented. You see what I'm saying? Write these words, the words from the Most High God, Yahweh. Write these words that I've spoken to thee in a book. You see what I'm saying? That we may be able to read it uh 2,000, 3,000 years later, whatever, 3,000, 4,000 years, whatever, later. Um, that we may be able to read this centuries later and be able to sit up there and understand, really draw into what the book is really saying, what these prophecies are really saying and stuff like that. You got to remember when you read Daniel 12 and 4, it says what? And Daniel 12 and 4 says, um, Daniel 12 and 4 says, in the NLT, it says, but you, Daniel, keep this prophecy a secret. Seal up the book until the time of the end, when many will rush here and there and knowledge will increase. So knowledge is going to be increased in these last days. So that's why we're starting to really understand these prophecies, because that knowledge is being increased to what the scriptures were saying. You see what I'm saying? We're starting to be able to understand the different things that these prophecies were already talking about back then, but we're being able to understand it in HD. So let's continue. For lo, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah. So we're going to be saved from the land of our captivity. He's going to end our captivity. But notice it says the people of Israel and Judah. So meaning Judah and Israel. We know that when you go to Jeremiah 50 and 33, it tells you that Israel and Judah are going to be scattered. They're going to be in captivity together. It talks about that in Jeremiah 50 and 33. So, but he says he's going to bring again the captivity of my people, Israel and Judah. So he's going to end our captivity. And what he said, saith the Lord, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers. This is not dealing with spiritual Israelites, because it says what? I will cause them to return to the land I gave to their fathers. This is not dealing with the fathers of other nations. This is dealing with the fathers of Israel and Judah. You see what I'm saying? Abraham is dealing with the fathers of Israel and Judah. Jacob, Isaac, and Abraham is dealing with their fathers. You see what I'm saying? It says, and they shall possess it. So we're going to return to our land and possess our land. This also proves what? That the people that's in Israel today are not the true Israelites, because where is the northern kingdom at? Secondly, it says, I will cause them to return the land I gave to their fathers and they shall possess it. So, What captivity were they ended from to be brought into that land? And where's the northern kingdom at? You see what I'm saying? So, verse 4, and these are the words that the Lord spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. Verse 5, for thus says the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, not of peace. So, what he's basically bringing forth is like, hey, we have heard a voice of trembling. Something terrible is coming. Not something peaceful, something terrible is coming. That's what Jeremiah is breaking down to the people. Because in verse 6, he says, what? Ask ye now and see whether a man do travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. So he's like, hey, bro, why am I seeing men grabbing their loins like a woman in travail with a child? You know, why are men moving like that? Why are men petrified and in great pains? You see what I'm saying? Why is he saying that? Jeremiah 30:7, it says, alas, for that day is great, so none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Notice it says that the reason why these people are in great, tribulation and different things like that is because that is the day of Jacob's trouble. So that's what Jeremiah is seeing. He's seeing visions in the future of Jacob's trouble, hard times that we will be going through. And that's what he's conveying to our people. But it says it's the time of Jacob's trouble. But what else? What does it say after that? But he shall be saved out of it. It doesn't say everybody's going to be saved out of it. It doesn't say Esau will be saved out of it. It doesn't say Moab will be saved out of it. It says that he is dealing with Jacob shall be saved out of it. That's who's going to be saved out of Jacob's trouble. That's who's going to get delivered out of this captivity, because the subject matter is dealing with Judah and Israel. You see what I'm saying? Verse 8, for it shall come to pass that in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of them. We're not gonna, it's not gonna be the point where these heathens are making money off us no more, man. He's gonna break that yoke that was put on our neck, because you gotta remember, yokes of irons went on our neck when you deal with the curses, because we didn't keep the commandments. When you deal with one of the curses, it says yokes of iron will go on our neck. The Most High is saying he's going to break that yoke off our neck. You see what I'm saying? That's what he's going to do. He's going to be the one that's going to redeem us by sending his son. So verse 9 says, but they shall serve Yahweh their God and David their king, whom I will raise unto them. And that's just dealing with the Davidic Messiah. Verse 10, therefore, fear thou not, O servant of Jacob, says Yahweh, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save who? Thee. That thee is dealing with who? Israel. He's going to save Israel from afar. And who else? Thy seed from the land of their captivity. He's going to save the seed of the Israelites, Israel and thy seed from the land of their captivity, meaning that the Israelites will be in captivity upon the arrival of the Messiah. We would be in captivity. He's going to save us. It says, and Jacob shall return. So he's going to save us and our seed from the land of our captivity, and Jacob shall return and shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. So when we get into the land, guess what? It's not going to be bombs being dropped into the land. That's happening right now. This is something we should be looking forward to. We're not going to be hearing people shooting guns in our land. We're killing each other in our land. We're not going to be seeing that. You see what I'm saying? It's not going to be bombs, missiles being dropped in the land. No, we're going to return. We shall be in rest and be quiet. We're not going to be under heavy oppression. You feel me? Verse 11. For I am with thee, saith the Lord, to save thee. So he's with us to save us. But it says, though I will make. Now understand this. He says, I am with thee to save thee, says the Lord, though I will make a full end of all nations whither I have scattered thee. So amongst the nations where we have been scattered, he's going to make a full end of them. But he's going to save us. So he's going to build us up, rescue us, but make a full end of the nations where we've been scattered at. But he says, what? Yet I would not make a full end of thee. So he's not going to make a full end of the Israelites. But the other nations, he will make a full end of them. How can they be saved if he's making a full end of the other nations, but he's not making a full end of the Israelites? But I will correct thee in measure and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. Verse 12. For thus says Yahweh, thy bruise is incurable and thy wound is grievous. So when you look at what we're going through today, man, look at how our bruise, look at our wounds, man. We're definitely wounded as a people, man. It's very grievous. You know what I'm saying? In all these other nations, they see what we're going through. They see the things that we're experiencing and stuff like that. But verse 13 says, there is none to plead thy cause, that thou mayest be bound up. Thou hast no healing medicine. So nobody's out here pleading our cause. They see what the Israelites are going through. They see what our people have been going through um damn near 1619. They see what our people is going through since 1441, since all these different times, you know what I'm saying, all these different time periods that we've been in heavy bondage. They see what we've been going through, but nobody has tried to plead our cause. They plead for the Asians, they plead for all these other nations. They have not pleaded for us. You feel me? We have not pleaded for us. Verse 14. All thy lovers have forgotten thee. They seek thee not. For I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of thy iniquity, because thy sins were increased. So he dealt with us because our sins were increased. We kept breaking the law. As a result, the Most High said, you know what? I'm going to ship y'all off into slavery now. You niggas don't want to keep the commandments. Y'all don't want to do what y'all supposed to do. I'm going to send you Negroes over to this land, to that land where y'all have to serve gods, and lands that, y'all have to serve gods, the same gods that y'all wanted to serve. Guess what? Now you'll be serving them in the land that you know not. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. We wasn't doing what we were supposed to do. So he wounded us, and he chastised us with the other nations. Verse 15. Why criest thou for thine affliction? Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. I've done these things. That's why he did these things, just as I was just speaking about. Verse 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all of thine adversaries. So he's letting you know, look, though I afflicted my people because they wasn't keeping the commandments, they wasn't doing what they were supposed to do, but therefore all them that have devoured us, guess what? And all thine adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. So the people that have devoured us, all thine adversaries, guess what? Every one of them is going to go into captivity. You see what I'm saying? Every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee, they're going to be for a spoil. We're going to be spoiling them. All that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. They're going to be a prey unto us. You see what I'm saying? And that's justice. You see what I'm saying? Why would the Most High allow them to just enslave us and rob us of everything we ever had, and it not be done unto them in righteousness? Okay. Verse 17. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds. Now, let me ask you a question. He said, all that devoured thee in verse 16, it says, all that devoured thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, they're going to go into captivity. But then he says, for I will restore health unto thee. Is this health right here? Him devouring the other nations? Him, every one of them going into captivity. Is that health for the other nations? No. But he said he will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, says the Lord. He's inflicting wounds on the other nations, but he's healing us of our wounds, because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion who no man seeketh after. You see that? Verse 30. We're going to read verse 30 and 18. Thus says Yahweh, behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tent, and have mercy on his dwelling places. He's going to have mercy on us, and the city shall be builded upon her own heap. You see what I'm saying? Because when you deal with Ezekiel, it talks about I would go to the city of unwalled villages, meaning there's going to be some type of destruction that's going to happen over there in Israel. You know what I'm saying? For the sake of our walls having to be built back up. So it says, and the city shall be builded upon her own heap. So they're going to have to, just like the scripture says in Isaiah, that the other nations are going to have to build up our walls. You see what I'm saying? And the palace shall remain after the manner thereof, dealing with the third temple. So verse 19, and out of them shall proceed thanksgiving and the voice of them that make them merry, and I will multiply them, and they shall not be few. I will also glorify them, and they shall not be small. This is just dealing with us entering into that new covenant. You see what I'm saying? Us being in a glorified state, joyful, not having to deal with the curses of Deuteronomy no more. Us just living in peace. Verse 20, their children shall also be aforetime, and a congregation shall be established before me, and I will punish all those that oppress them. So he's going to be punishing those that have oppressed us. Our children are going to be righteous. They're going to be able to play in the streets, just like it says in Zechariah 8. They're going to be able to play in the streets, enjoy themselves and stuff like that. We're not going to have to worry about no kidnappings, no murders happening to our children. And he's going to punish all them that oppress us. You see what I'm saying? And he's going to put us over them. Verse 21, and their nobles shall be of themselves, and their governor shall proceed from the midst of them, and I will cause him to draw near, and he shall approach unto me. For who is that engaged his heart to approach unto me, saith the Lord? So basically what this is saying, their nobles shall be of themselves. We're not going to have Edomites over us. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to have no Edomites over us, because you got to remember the curses was talking about how other nations would be ruling on us. We would be the tail and not the head. They would be the head and we would be the tail. You see what I'm saying? That's not going to be the case when we enter into this new covenant and we end up in our land. Verse 30 and 22, and ye shall be my people and I will be your God. And this is after we truly enter into the new covenant. Verse 23, behold, the whirlwind of the Lord goeth forth with fury, and a continuing whirlwind, it shall fall upon the head of the wicked. This destruction that the Most High is finna send is finna fall upon the head of the wicked. And that's what we're definitely awaiting patiently. 24, the fierce anger of the Lord shall not return until he have done it, and until he have performed the intents of his heart. In the latter day shall he consider it. So this fierce anger of the Lord, it's not gonna, because you gotta remember, it talks about how in Isaiah 55, it talks about how his word is gonna go forth and it's not gonna come back void. This destruction that he's talking about, this fierce anger that he's gonna bring forth upon the nation, is not gonna come back void. You see what I'm saying? Because that word is going out. All these things that we have spoken about, we just read, these things are gonna happen because the Most High, because thus says the Lord. You feel me? So we're just gonna keep that in mind, man. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Shoot. Okay, there we go. So, man, make sure y'all check this video out, man. Give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of his son, Yahweh Shah, you igly know as Jesus Christ. It's your boy, Padata's of War. Shalom.